Hi there. My name's Graham, and I'm going to be the team captain for the World-Style Debate for the 2017-2018 school year at the University of Rochester. I'm here today to just give you a brief introduction into World-Style Debate, or BP as it's often called, standing for British Parliament, just so you have a sense of what's going on here and what kinds of topics and issues you might expect to discuss in a World-Style Debate. World's Debate is a really rich and exciting and I think fulfilling kind of debate, especially to do in college. It really rewards quick thinking on your feet, having a broad base of knowledge and curiosity about different subjects, and being able to listen critically to the arguments that your opponents are making so you can respond to them effectively. It might seem a little intimidating at first, and maybe this looks a little complicated at first glance, but I promise it's a lot easier than it looks. And it's really exciting, so I hope you'll end up giving it a try. So, to start off, a World's Debate fundamentally involves 8 debaters. And so if you can imagine each of these blobs as a person, you have 4 teams with 2 people on each team. So that means you're going to be debating with a partner, one partner, in a World's Debate. So you have your first team of 2, your second, your third, and your fourth. You can also see that on the left side, these 2 teams are under what we call the government bench, or Gov. And on the right side, these 2 teams are under the opposition bench, or Op. So before we go on there, the topics that we debate in a World's Debate round come in the form of what we call motions. So a motion is another thing that comes from British Parliament, which inspires a lot of this debate format. And a motion is basically a statement or a proposition that can be about really anything you can think of. It might be something like, this House believes that South Korea should be armed with nuclear weapons to defend itself. Or something like, this House believes that public housing for the poor should be constructed in wealthy neighborhoods. So those are just a few examples of what you might expect in a World's Debate. It can really be about anything. And so, with that topic in mind, the point of a World's Debate is that each of the 8 individuals is going to give a 7-minute speech supporting their side of the debate. So if you're on the government side for, this House believes that public housing for the poor should be built in wealthy neighborhoods, you're going to be arguing, well, yes, this should happen, and giving reasons why and justification and support. And if you're on the opposition side, you're going to be arguing, well, no, this shouldn't happen, for whatever your own reasons are. So the way a World's Debate works is that these speakers give their 7-minute speeches one by one, alternating sides. So you'll have government speech, opposition speech, government speech, opposition speech, all the way down the line until all 8 debaters have given their 7-minute speeches. So it ends up being about an hour in total. And obviously, your goal is to convince the judges who are basically overseeing the debate that your side is correct and that you have the best arguments for why we should have public housing for the poor in wealthy neighborhoods, or why we shouldn't. But this gets into the kind of interesting twist of World's Debate, which is that it's not just which side wins and which side loses. Because there's 4 teams here, and after World's Debate is over, those 4 teams get basically rated in one is sort of a first place, second place, third place, fourth place. First obviously being the best, fourth being the least best. So if you are on this government team, you are competing against the 2 opposition teams to convince the judge that you're right. But you're also competing against your other government team. You're trying to basically give more to the debate, to sort of be the better team on your side, so you can beat out not only these 2 teams, but the other team on your side. So there's a little bit of strategy involved, and it makes for a really exciting kind of debate environment about sort of thinking about what different arguments can you make. How can I respond to the things that the opposing teams are saying? How can me and my partner ultimately have the best take possible on this issue, and that's how you win a world's debate. So this is just a super quick intro. I hope that all makes sense. There's a little bit more kind of finer details to think about, but ultimately this is what world's debate is about. I hope it makes sense, and I hope you'll give it a try, and I'll look forward to seeing you this coming school year.